and welcome to another episode of Impact with Elle. I hope you enjoy my episodes. Please don't forget to well, you can save, but subscribe and like. Today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the tax plan that's been proposed by the current administration, as well as a little bit of history around the estate tax and some constitutional law. So Biden's administration is proposing eliminating the stepped-up basis in inheritance taxes. That actually is going to have a huge effect on taxes for businesses and also, you know, folks who are giving things to their children, because that's clearly what an inheritance tax is. It's actually going to make those taxes reach nearly 80%. The reason is because if you eliminate the stepped-up basis and you have your capital gains tax that's going up to 42%, your inheritance tax is already close to 40%. So you put those two together, which, by the way, they will be together because they are proposing actually paying taxes on unrealized capital gains. That means that even if you didn't sell it, you still have to pay taxes on it. Well, the reality is that is going to reach astronomical rates, and we haven't even accounted for state taxes yet. So as far as I can tell, these are confiscatory taxes. I mean, think of it this way. If you had a $100 million business and your cost basis was zero because you built that business with sweat equity, then you have to pay $70 million in taxes or more. How are you going to do that? It's going to have to mean a liquidation of the business. If we start liquidating small businesses, private companies, and, you know, mom and pop shops, we are destroying capital. We are destroying business. We are destroying jobs and increasing suffering in the United States overall. This isn't about penalizing rich people or ending people from inheriting anything. This is about ending economic, the heart of what it is in America, which is small businesses. It makes this a less dynamic economy and would reduce competition. I think we need to examine the history here a little bit. Estate taxes came into being in 1913 after having instituted income taxes. And the history there is pretty interesting because, as far as I'm concerned, the U.S. judiciary royally screwed the American people. The Supreme Court actually stood by and watched an unconstitutional action take place and actually supported that. The idea that you can tax directly is actually specifically not allowed in the Constitution. And they got around that by saying, oh, this was a privilege to transfer your assets. So it's not a right, it's a privilege. Let's think about that for just a minute. It's not your right to leave what you own to anybody that you want. That's a privilege. Let's go a little bit further on that examination. If you own something, you don't have a right to give it to whoever you want. If I own property, that's a privilege, not a right. So there are no property rights. I mean, let's just go down this debate a little bit here. It's pretty disturbing when you get into it. If you think about it, if you don't have property rights, but it's just something that the government has given to you as a privilege, then this is effectively a kingdom and we're all serfs. I mean, we are allowed to own things at the whim of the government or the king, if you will. That's not American, and that's specifically unconstitutional, as I mentioned before. Believe me, if the government thinks that you own things at their privilege, that means that they can take it away whenever they want. Serfs don't own property. We are only allowed to use it by the goodwill of the government. I'm sorry, this isn't an American ideal. And I think everybody will agree with that. It's sad that the Supreme Court has set a precedent for government seizing property. And it's sad to see that this is being capitalized on by creating confiscatory taxes. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I hope this has sparked some thought and some food for debate, because I really want to see some action being taken on this. For now, I'll see you later.